Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see how to upload a file and download a file using CITS. Now, file upload and downloads are pretty simple processes in Selenium. In order to get started with CITS, the process would remain more or less similar to what we also do in Selenium. Now, this is an application where we have the option of choosing the file, and then if we click on this file chooser, we come to the Windows Explorer, we select the file, click on open, and then we click on upload. And then we have a final success message, file uploaded, and that's more or less about it. Right now, if we reload the application, we will try to imitate this activity using CITS using the recorder function. So let's quickly create a scenario called file upload and a test case underneath tc1, and here we will start the recorder. Click on CITS, the extension, right click, open, records the browser opening, and then we are going to click on choose file, which is recorded. But this interaction with the Windows Explorer cannot be done using Selenium, right? Because Selenium is essentially for browser. So what do we have to do for that? So we are going to choose the file anyways and click on open. Yeah. And then we see that to that file type element, which is this choose file, we are setting the file path, the absolute path of the file that is there in the Windows Explorer. Now we're going to see more in details in a while, but let's click on upload, and then this is a success message which we want to assert. So right click, and then we say element, assert element displayed. Yeah, that's it. This is what we need to do to upload a file. If we close this and come back to the test, we see that this object, the file chooser, if we go to that object, right click, go to object, is almost always of the type file. Is always of the type file. Now what that means is, to this kind of file type, we can always pass the absolute path or the absolute location of the file, and it should invariably work. You do not even have to perform the click action which opens up the Windows Explorer. Now that is always better when you are interacting with the browser in a Linux environment where you do not have any kind of a UI, right? So I will just remove this click. This is not required. Set, and it says fake path, but as of now, I'm going to enter the absolute path of the file, right? So this is the absolute path of the file. And I'm going to add a breakpoint here. So I'm going to insert a dummy line at the end, and we can execute the whole thing in a debug mode. Okay, I'm going to put a breakpoint at line number 2, and we can see the whole execution in debug mode. Yeah, so let's trigger the execution. So the URL is opened. I open up the console. The next step, you see, it entered the full path, the absolute path of the file. It didn't even open up the Windows Explorer. That's pretty nice. So no interaction with the Windows, and then clicks on upload, and then validating the success message that is file uploaded is displayed, and then that's it. That's the end of the execution. So this is how you can upload a file by directly passing the absolute path of the file um, to the file type object by uh, circumventing or bypassing the interaction with the windows. With this solution, even though it works, there is a slight problem. The problem is this this path that you have passed is an absolute path which belongs to your machine, to where the execution is happening. The moment the script is uh, pushed to somebody else's machine, invariably this path has to be changed. Imagine a situation where you would want to run this whole pack via CI/CD. So you would want to run it in a server, in an agent where this file does not exist, or at least this path does not exist. So you would want a consistent relative path where your test file is present, from where you can pick up the absolute path from that location, that consistent location. How do we achieve that in CITS? Let's see. Okay, now let us first create the relative location that we would keep consistent. Okay, now if I go to my Windows Explorer, this is the file that is there in my local machine. Right now, I'm going to copy this file. Um, and if I go to the tool, the root location where the tool is installed, if I go to the projects location, now this is my project. This would be your project as well. So in your project, if you enter into your project and if you create a folder, right? Let's name this folder files, and inside the folder, let's create another folder called uploads. Now, if we go inside uploads and I paste the file, so this location, the project which you're working on, inside the project you have created a folder, another folder, and then this is where your test file lies. So always your test file is in a consistent location, and that is the project location. Inside the project location you have created a directory tree, files, uploads, right? So that's a consistent location. What is not consistent is the part before it. So the project's location, and then where the tool is installed, that is still okay. But before that, somebody might be having this whole thing in the D drive. So I have it in C drive. Somebody might be having it in D drive. In the agent, it could be running in a Linux machine. So that would be different. So everything from before the projects is inconsistent, as in it varies from server to server. So this is what we need to normalize, or we need to fix, and this is the location that we need to not just this location, the projects and the name of the project, but also the files and the uploads. And this is the location that we need to keep fixed inside the tool. How will we do that? We go to kits, we go to user defined settings. Okay, and we're going to create a setting called upload location. Now in the upload location, we're going to pass this value: files, uploads. So files, uploads, and then the name of the file. So this part remains consistent. So where are my files, uploads, and the file located? It is located in my project location. Remember this, it is located in my project location. Okay, now it's always better to reverse the slashes, because then you can use this in a Linux environment without any problem, right? So files, uploads, and then the name of the file. That's it. I save this. Now, in order to find the location before my project location, that is the absolute location of this path, we have to write a small custom code. And if I go to engine, uh, in the very first video, we had created a custom method called like a class called custom, and then a custom method where we're printing the input and the condition. We're going to write another custom method very quickly. So we're going to copy everything and paste. We're going to change the name, let's say return absolute path. Yeah. The description returns absolute path. We don't need any input, so input type is no. We don't need any condition value, so no. And here what we will do is we will try to access this value. Now from a custom method you can access this value in the user defined settings, any value of the properties, using a method called get user defined. Okay, so I'm going to first store this value in a string, upload location equal to get user defined data, and then the key is upload location. That's what we need. All right, that's one part done. Now this is always going to be constant. I have misspelled location, let me correct it. Okay, now the other part is to get the project location irrespective of which machine the code is executing, right? So I would say string project location equal to, let's use camel case here in the first one as well, equal to control dot get current project. So that will give me the current project, and then if I say get location, that will give me the location of the project. So now I have this part which is unknown to me and this part which is always known, and I have fixed it in the settings. So now I'm going to say string absolute path equal to the project location plus then a slash then the project location. That's it. So now this is the absolute path that we need to make available in the script. And when I say in the script, I mean here. This is the absolute path that we have defined here, which we need to make available in this input column. What we can do is we can very easily create a variable here. So we can say add var, and then in that variable we first pass the name of the variable. I can say abs path here, and then I can pass the value, the string value here. So in the method, I'm creating a variable by the name of absolute path or abs path, and then I'm passing the absolute path. I think I made a mistake. It would be upload location and not project location here. So project location plus upload location. Yeah. So now this is complete, and the value together will give me the absolute path, which is something that I will make available here in the tool. Okay, so I will say in the report, I will try to print the path that is generated. I would say path apps path generated and done. That's it. This is all that we need to do. And I'm going to select source main Java and source main resources. Right click, export, select jar file, next, and then build the jar. Finish. Yes. Okay. Now if I restart this, okay. Now in our test case, um, before this action is executed, we have to add one line. We have to say browser, and then we have to call the method that we just created, and this is called return absolute path. So let's see if it's there or not. Yeah, return absolute path. It is definitely there. So this return absolute path will take the value from the user defined location, okay, and would automatically resolve the project location, and then would return the value in a variable called abs path. This is what we need. So in this file type element, we will not set any hard-coded value. We will remove this and we will feed this variable abs path. Okay, so let's see this in action. Let's see how this works. I'm going to run this in debug mode, select Chrome as the browser, and yeah, the browser is open. The the path is generated, which is very good. Let's see what happens to the next step. Yeah, you see it has entered the text, the full path this time, without any hard coding of the absolute path. It has generated the full path by resolving the project location. And then if we continue with the execution, upload, and then the success message is validated, and that's the end of the execution. So what we saw is, with this method, we were very easily able to make the test case independent of the server, independent of where it is running. In any case, no matter which server it is running, it will resolve the full file location. I hope you find this video informative. See you all in the next video.